Hello. Hello. Okay, so today I'm going to do my lean management presentation um, that is applied to a real world company. So, oops. So initially I thought in the simplest terms that lean management was similar to made to order goods because in a way of lean management's core principles, like it is done with the best effort as soon as possible and they're always looking to improve. But I understand that this isn't the case and lean management is more complex than it sounds. And I only thought of it that way because lean management's three main principles are one, to deliver value from your customer's perspective, two, to eliminate waste, which are things that don't bring value to the end product, and three, continuous improvement. However, after reading more and doing this analysis of the company that I chose, I can see that's just the tip of the iceberg. And the company that I chose to analyze with lean management is Nike, which everyone knows. So Nike is a popular corporation that sells footwear, apparel, um, equipment, accessories, and even services. And for myself, I have more than enough pairs of Nike goods. So a brief a brief history on why Nike decided to use lean management. So back in the 1990s, Nike was facing boycotts, weak demand, and never-ending criticism due to the lack of corporate responsibility and the malpractice that it had in its contract factories. So stereotypical sayings such as Chinese sweatshops or jokes being made that sometimes we even see on Western TV, it can be used an example. So sweatshops are contract factories that produce usually like sports clothes or so, but the working environments are not ideal and they provide very, very low minimum wages. So lean management, due to this, lean management has made an impact on Nike and Nike has made its commitments to improving these things. And lean management has two pillars of support. One is the respect for the people, and the second being continuous improvement, which was also discussed in class using Toyota as an example. So, what lean management should not only do for the company is like the company should not just create compliance programs because it has very limited improvement in that area, and people may still feel forced to comply without understanding the purpose of what it does and why it's important for the corporation, or at least even for the contract factories. What lean management should do instead is focus on optimizing assets and vertical departments to optimize the flow of products and services through entire value streams that flow horizontally across technologies, assets, and departments to the customer. So how does Nike apply lean management? So I've divided it across 5 different parts that I found. So factories becoming or using lean management was a huge commitment for Nike and the contract factories. Nike had to appoint managers to be responsible for the lean transformation and send them to Nike's training facility in Sri Lanka. This was way back in 2000s, and they had several factories which had to even change the physical layout of the shop's floor. As a result, after a couple of years, these factories improved their score by more than half a grade on their audits compared to those who have not yet adopted a lean line. So this has amounted to a 15% reduction in labor non-compliance. Oh, sorry, I made a grammatical error there. And in 2005, Nike also publicly reported their first version of a CSR report, which detailed pay scales for the workers and working conditions, but they were also transparent in saying the problems that they still had. and that they were looking to fix. And in addition to this, they were also very transparent with the location of their contract factories. Regarding reduced overtime, using lean, they found that most of the problems that led to overtime are created at the front end of the supply chain, with the front end being where IT and ITEC play a key role. The front end usually involves processing and use of information to facilitate and optimize the backend operations, in which the backend operations are the physical building blocks such as supply facilities, production facilities, warehouses, distributors, retailers, and logistics facilities. While the company can't prevent sudden changes in demand, such as the beginning of a new season, say that like they're switching from summer to winter or even fall clothing. Because of this, they can eliminate late orders, sudden changes in materials, and other factors that were increasing waste and hours of preventable overtime. As well as reduced overtime, the lean factories, or the factories that have adopted the lean line, saw productivity increase by 10 to 20%. They've become 40% faster, or up to 40% faster in delivery lead times. And they've had 50% lower in defect rates. So moving on to Nike's supply chain and the way they use lean. It's partly dependent on building the right incentives and discipline for their business relationships. So relationships between the contract factories and Nike itself. So the organization focused on developing strong long-term partnerships with fewer factories. So while to some people, having fewer factories means less production, however, at least in Nike's case, they were able to get better quality, but also in the previous topic, which was reduced overtime, they've also increased productivity. So they've also set a new standard, industry standard, when it comes to worker well-being. And lastly, they've also set a goal in which they hope to have all factories achieve a bronze rating or higher. What a bronze rating is that a factory compliance with Nike's code of conduct and leadership standards are achieved. So what these are, they are standards that are created for the rights of workers in these factories and are also to create a safe working environment. Next, we're going to talk about sustainability. While they have been aggressively working on their, I would say, their job to the environment, as part of their efforts to achieve sustainable goals, along with investing in disruptive innovation like these. Oh, you can't see them, but these, dang, you really can't see them. Okay, well, but these are a Nike's initiative to go greener in a way, because the shoes that I was trying to show are created with at least 20% or more recyclable material. So that is one of their initiatives to create or at least have disruptive innovation. So you can see Adidas also creating something called Prime Blue, which is their line of sustainable goods. So the goals that Nike has set up, one of them is to source 100% of products from contract factories to meet the company's definition of sustainable, and to have zero waste from contracted footwear manufacturing sent to landfill or incineration without energy recovery. And lastly, due to Nike's hard work in striving to implement lean management into their business, due to that one incident, they have gone from becoming one of the most criticized companies in the past in less than a decade to becoming highly praised for their change and becoming a leader in their industry for sustainability and corporate social responsibility. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.